Marcia, you've had a lot of interesting cases throughout your legal career. Which ones do you think is the highlight?
Well, I have to say I think I have some favorites, and there are about probably 3 or 4 that I think were important in forming my career. I can tell you one of them was the Pamela Smart case. I represented one of the boys that was charged with murder in that case, and that was exciting because it was the first fully televised case in the country. I had a Hells Angels case in federal court. That was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of things. And I had the Haverhill Country Club case, which was the first trial of a gender discrimination case in the country against a allegedly private country club or golf club. And I felt very proud of that because winning it set some precedents for women's rights. So I'm proud of that case.
Tell us a little bit more about that case. What was at stake here?
Oh, women not being treated fairly, not having equal access to the course, not getting tea times, treated like third-class citizens, where their kids who were male could do things like walk into the 19th hole, and they couldn't, things like that. So it was a lot of different things over the years these women were subjected to. And it was not in the early 1900s or the 1950s. This is in the 1990s. So we went to trial with it, which is the first time ever because most of them either settle or they're not brought. And we won a pretty significant verdict. We're very proud of it.
Well, I know that case reverberated across New England and the U.S., so... Yes.
I hope so.
Yes.
Took a lot of work.
Your law firm, what do you consider the specialties?
Well, I have 3 other lawyers in the firm. We do divorce work. We do criminal defense, obviously. A lot of civil litigation and discrimination, and we do quite a bit of personal injury. So we have a pretty general practice firm.
Now, you've been very active in the legal community as well. Do you enjoy the time you volunteer with the bar associations? And let's not forget that you are the past president of the Mass Bar. Mass Academy of Trial Attorneys.
I have a good time. I enjoy it. It takes a lot of time out of the office, and so my associates, sometimes lose patience because they do all the work. But they make it easy for me. I'm past president of the Mass Academy of Trial Attorneys. I'm past president of the Essex County Bar Association, and I am very active in the Mass Bar. You just can't stop yourself after a while because you feel like you're helping your profession, you're helping your fellow lawyers, you're making changes, and it's a good thing. I love it. I do.
Now, this isn't a scripted question, but I'm going to ask you because I know you have strong feelings about this. In the past couple of political rounds, there have been some shadows cast on lawyers.
Not good.
Talk about that.
It's so easy to blame somebody else for these problems. Mostly, I'm sure you're talking about the tort reform, and lawyers are being bashed by the current administration, and we're the root of all the evil. Where if it weren't for lawyers, you wouldn't have things such as seatbelts. You wouldn't have things like, pajamas that don't catch on fire. You wouldn't have airbags. You wouldn't have a lot of the things because lawyers fight for these things. And when you need a lawyer is the best thing in the world. But I think the problem comes a lot when people complain or are worried about the doctors. They can't get insurance, and I think a lot of that is quite exaggerated. For example, you'll hear that some people will claim that their OBGYNs can't practice in Massachusetts because the insurance is so high, when in fact there are more now than there were 20 years ago. So it's all a perception, and you always want to get rid of the people in the front lines who are protecting the consumers if you want to pull something over on them or you want to pass something that's not in their best interest, but lawyers are the last line of defense for the consumers and the public. So yeah, that does strike me in the wrong way.
When a client comes to you, do they recognize that?
That I'm fighting for them, you mean? Yes, I think so. I think they do, because I think I've, over my years of practice, established that I'm an advocate. I try to advocate zealously without being inappropriate. But, I think every case for every client is very important. It's their only case. And I'll fight it like it's my only case, even though it may not be. But I think that's important because you come to a lawyer and that's your only time that you have. That's in front of the court. You want to tell your story. You want to get your side out, and that's what I do.
What do you think your greatest strength is as a lawyer?
I think I have empathy for my clients, and I have a passion for advocacy. I think my problem sometimes is, maybe one of my strengths is when I see somebody's ill done to or somebody's wronged. You know, I have my license so I can go out and try to fix it. So I try to fix it, and it makes me feel good when I'm successful. Maybe that's what it is.
If anybody wants to reach your law firm, what's the best way to contact us?
I have a website. It's www.kazarosian.com. It's KAZAROSIAN.com. Or my office is 978-372-7758.
Attorney Marcia Kazarosian, thank you.
Thank you, Lillian.